Hello, 8th standard CBSE children. Have a nice day. Have a good day. We are meeting after some gap, is it not? Today, we are going to do video number 17 as cell structure and functions, chapter 8. Chapter 8, cell structure and functions. This lesson we have already learnt, but still we are just recollecting, summing up. Otherwise, we say refreshing the portions that we have learned. This lesson we are going to include in the last session of the exam. Yeah? So, just we will recall the points that we have learned. Okay. So, this is as cell structure. Just to go through recollect what you have learned. Second, as children, as cell structure. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. It is observed by Robert Hooke. Cell structure observed by Robert Hooke. Hooke spelling, just check. Robert Hooke in the honeycomb-like cells, as honeycomb-like cells in the cork. Corkna ஒரு என்ன சொல்ல நார்மலாக முந்தில இப்போ ரொம்ப கிடைக்கிறது கிடையாது. இந்த பாட்டில் எல்லாம் கார்க் மூடி பண்ணிடுவாங்க சரியா. ஸோ அதில் வந்து செல்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா இட் இஸ் லைக் எ ஹனிகோம் லைக் செல்ஸ். நம்ம டெக்ஸ்ட் புக்கில் இருக்க இந்த மாதிரி இட் இஸ் லைக் திஸ் சரியா. ஸோ இன் அவர் டெக்ஸ்ட் புக் இட் இஸ் ரிட்டன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Then it may be compared to bricks, building up a brick wall. It is compared. In what way? First, we'll keep brick one by one. ஒரு லைனா வச்சுட்டு வருவோம். அதுக்கு மேலே அடிக்கின்றே போகிறோம் இல்லையா. அதே மாதிரி these cells also first they will divide into two. That cell divides into two. அந்த மாதிரி as it is building up the cell structure. Okay, so it is compared to bricks. Bricks are assembled to make a building. Similarly, cells are assembled to make the body of every organism. Sorry. So this is structural and functional unit of life. Edu cell. This discovery of cell, as it is given in the textbook, discovery, it is Robert Hooke in the year 1665. Robert Hooke in the year 1665 observed the cells in the slice of a cork like a honeycomb like compartment. And these boxes are appeared like a honeycomb. And he also noticed that one box is separated from the other. Normally, cell structure, it is like this, polygonal or spherical or oval in shape. இந்த மாதிரி brick அடிக்கிறப்பல the cells are arranged like this. சரியா? Then these cells are arranged. Okay. Now these cells, they have separated from each other. At the same time, they are in continuation with the other cell. Still, they are in continuation of the other cell. This is the inner wall of this cell, and this is the inner wall of this cell. So, in between, they are in continuation. That is called plasmodesmata. That is known as plasmodesmata. And further, just understand something. Okay. Then, as cell is the structural and functional unit, then a handshake can be seen easily. Hence it can be seen easily. Is it a cell or a group of cells? Another actually cell is a fertilized egg. Egg is a fertilized egg. Hence what we are seeing is a fertilized egg. That is zygote going to develop. So the building, though built of similar bricks, have different designs, shapes and sizes. Similarly, in the living world, organisms differ from one another. They differ from one another in every aspect. All the cells are not uniform. They are different from each other. I hope you follow this. Recollect so this is that. Then cell, cell, it is as unicellular and multicellular. So this cell, the egg over hen, represents a single cell and is big enough to be seen by the naked eye. Then organisms show variety in cell number, shape and sizes. And again, there are millions of living organisms. They are of different size and shape. So the number of cells, based on that, the cells are unicellular. The cells are unicellular and multicellular. Based on the number of cells, they are unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular, it is formed of single cell. Within a single cell membrane, the other internal structures are present. Right? And all the prokaryotes, next all the prokaryotes, they are coming under unicellular organism. So the number of organisms which are made up of single cell, it is unicellular. The organisms which are made up of single cell, they are called unicellular. Example, amoeba and paramecium. Amoeba and paramecium. These are the examples for unicellular organism. Right? Whereas multicellular, it is all other higher animals, they are multicellular in nature. Unicellular, a single cell organism, primitive group of organisms. Then above that, next higher, it is Hydra. Classification. Next higher, it is phylum Coelenterata, starting from two-layered structure, and then further higher animals are three-layered structure. They are multicellular. So this is first cell size and shape based on unicellular and multicellular. Right? Organisms made up of more than one cell are called multicellular organism. The number of cells being less in smaller organism, but still they will be having single cell and unicellular. I hope you understand. So unicellular examples, amoeba and paramecium. Right? So a single cell organism like amoeba, it captures food, respire, it captures food, it digests, respire, excrete and grow and reproduces. Everything occurs within the single cell. I hope you understand. Same way, similar functions. What are the functions? Digestion, respiration, excretion, growth, reproduction. These are all carried out in multicellular organisms by group of specialized cells forming different tissues. சரி. So normally multicellularக்கு நம்ம என்ன சொல்லுவோம்னா சார், multicellular first cell, then a group of cells forming tissues, a group of tissues forming organ, and this organ with the organ system, and then that goes to the organism. I hope you understand. For example, this is one cell. Each one is a single cell, and that forms a group of cells. Each one single cell, and that forms a group of cells. Okay, this is cell, these are a group of cells, and then இது வந்து organ, இது வந்து organ system. நம்ம digestive system படிச்சிருக்கோம்ல, இது வந்து organ system, and then that goes with the organism. Like that, different organ system that forms the organism. This is multicellular organism. I hope you are able to follow. நான் வந்து உனக்கு ஒரு இது கூட காமிச்சு கொடுத்தேன் இல்லையா, இது இந்த படம் ஒட்டி காமிச்சு கொடுத்துருக்கேன். With the picture reference, you are asked to expand the multicellular organism. What is it? Cell, tissues, organ system, and organism. I hope you understand this. Then, in the shape of cells, when you come to size and shape, the cells may be different size and shapes, as for example the cells in it is given as spherical. This is RBC, red blood corpuscle, and this is spindle shape. This is called spindle shape, that is smooth muscle. சரியா? And this is different branched cell. This is nerve cell or neuron. So all of them, they are not similar, and they are also not the same tissue. சரியா? So இது வந்து blood tissue, this is muscular tissue, this is nervous tissue. I hope you understand. So this is spherical RBC, this is spindle shape, smooth muscle, and this one is nerve cell or neuron. Okay, so for example, shape first RBC. RBC, it is biconcave disc shape structure. Okay, and then this spindle shape is like this, smooth muscle, spindle shape structure, right? And then nervous tissue, it is multiple. This is nervous tissue. It's given in our textbook. With that, you can follow. Right? Now, the shape of the cell, again, it may vary, I say, but in our textbook, it is said that in amoeba, it shows it changes its shape often, because amoeba, as we know, in amoeba structure, I hope you remember. And this is called pseudopodia. This is pseudopodia. This is amoeba. Amoeba, it shows different movements. In amoeba, it has no definite shape. It keeps on changing its shape, and the projections in varying length all the projections, they are not uniform. So it projections varying in length, protruding out of its body. Okay, and these are called pseudopodia. And the pseudopodia, they are helpful in movement, that is locomotion, and also to capture the prey. That is for functioning of pseudopodia. Same way, WBC, white blood cell, in the blood tissue of human, it is also showing movement. And white blood cell, WBC, in human blood is another example of a single cell which can change its shape. But while WBC is a cell, where amoeba is a full-fledged organism. Appo, you should know the difference between cell and the tissue and the organism. Okay, so WBC, it is a cell, whereas amoeba is an organism. But both show movement. Single cell, both show movement. Sure? Then different size and cell example. என்ன சொல்லிருக்கேன்? RBC, disc shape structure, biconcave, disc shape, circular, and then smooth muscle, spindle shape, and nervous tissue, it is otherwise called neuron, where it is having different size as branched filaments will be seen. I hope you understand this. Then the components of cell enclosed in a membrane. This membrane provides shape to the cells of plants and animals. So first outer covering is the cell wall. So first outer covering, it is the cell wall. Right? Now follow. 1 minute. Cell wall. The picture la recollect panna. Outer covering cell wall சொல்லிருக்கேன்ல, அதோட structure recollect panna. So now we say cell. It is formed of nucleus and cytoplasm. Cell wall and it is formed of nucleus and cytoplasm. This cytoplasm in turn formed of living and non-living inclusions. It is formed of living and non-living inclusions. Right? And then this cell, nucleus and cytoplasm, it is covered within the cell wall. It is covered within the cell wall. Now the plant cell, as it is related to plants, I am doing this plant cell structure. Right? This is the cell wall. Plant cell, this is the cell wall. Everything will have outer and inner layer. So I am drawing it as a double layered structure. Outer cell wall, inner and outer. Right? And this cell wall, I will come to this. This is cell wall. Okay. Now this nucleus and cytoplasm together is called protoplasm. Nucleus and cytoplasm together is called protoplasm. Now this protoplasm, it is coined by the scientist Pickenji. Protoplasm is coined by the scientist Pickenji. Right? Also protoplasm, it is the physical basis of life. I hope you are able to follow. Huh? So now this plant cell having, now there is a slight difference between plant cell and animal cell. Same way we will come across another as prokaryote and eukaryote. And we will study the cell structure and then go to the differences. Okay. So now each organ in the system perform different functions such as digestion, assimilation and absorption. We say digestive system, is it not? Starting from the mouth to anus, that includes digestive system. In that digestive system, the mouth is doing a function. Following that is the esophagus, sending the food from the mouth to the stomach. In the stomach, stomach is having a definite structure, muscular elastic bag, and then its secretion. Following that is the small intestine and large intestine. Same time, though it is coming under digestive system, the structure of intestine and stomach differs, is it not? That's why we say cells are different in organ and organ system. So, digestive system it perform different functions. Digestion, assimilation and absorption. Similarly, plants roots help in absorption of water and minerals. Leaves, they take part in doing the function of photosynthesis and respiration and transpiration. So different parts of the plants like organism, animal, it is also doing different functions. Okay. So each organ is further made up of smaller parts called tissues. A tissue is a group of similar cells performing specific functions. I hope you understand. The next step, we will go to the parts of the cell. Parts of the cell. First, cell membrane. Cell membrane, the basic components of a cell are cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Basic components of the cells are cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Right? The cytoplasm and the nucleus, they are enclosed within the cell membrane. At the same time, in plant cell wall is an additional covering of the plants. That is the main difference in plant cell and animal cell. Plant cells, it is having a definite cell wall, rigid in nature and giving definite shape. Whereas in animal cell wall is absent, only the flexible cell membrane. So, the cell membrane, it is also called plasma membrane. The membrane separates cell from one another and also the cell from the surrounding medium. Right? So, the plasma membrane is porous. Plasma membrane is porous and allows the movement of substances or materials both inward and outward. I hope you understand. We'll just continue. Just go through and recollect the points that I said. We'll just continue. So, the boundary of the cell is the cell membrane covered by another thick covering called cell wall. Right? The central dense round body in the center is called nucleus. So see here, this is the diagram explanation as cell wall, then inside cytoplasm, and in the center is the nucleus. See? So jelly-like substance present between the nucleus and the cell membrane is the cytoplasm. See? So now as I said, there is a difference in plant cell and animal cell. Another plant cell is having a definite size and shape with the rigid cell wall, whereas cell wall is absent in the animal cell. As it is given, cell membrane gives definite shape to the cell. In addition to the cell membrane, there is an outer thick layer in the cells of the plants called cell wall. Right? This additional layer surrounding the cell membrane is required by the plants for protection. Plant cell need protection against variation in temperature, high wind speed and atmospheric moisture. Variation in temperature, high wind speed and atmospheric moisture. So these are to be plants to be protected. So they are also exposed to this variation because plants cannot move. Animals will move from place to place, whereas plants cannot move from place to place. Only the plant parts are showing movements. Cells can be observed in the leaf peel of Tradescantia. Name of the particle Tradescantia, Elodia or Rio leaf. Tradescantia is ஒரு ஆலோவேரா படிச்சோம் இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி இதுல உள்ளது. I hope you understand. So this is the basic cell structure. இப்போ இந்த cell wall இப்போ பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா, so cell wall என்ன சொல்றோம், as cell wall in plant cell wall is present. Alright. In plant cell wall is present. No, before that, just animal cell, it lacks cell wall. Instead, cell membrane is present. I hope you understand this. So now this cell wall, what we say, in addition to plasma membrane, a plant cell has a cell wall around it. And then cell wall around the plasma membrane, it is made up of the cell wall material called cellulose and lignin. Cell wall materials are cellulose and lignin. But here the lignin, it is water resistant. The cell wall provides rigidity, protection and support to the plants. Cell wall provides rigidity, protection and support to the plants and prevents it from collapsing. The cell wall is slightly elastic and its combined strength helps both small plants and tall trees to maintain their shape even when they sway away in strong wind. The cell wall in young cell, it is called primary cell wall, and then it is much thinner and more elastic than those found in older cells. So normally cell wall cell wall சின்னதுக்கு சொல்றேன், இது structure like this, cell wall, and then இது inner thing இல்லையா, இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும் like this, and then this is inner cell wall. So outer thick primary and then center one, it is called the middle lamella. Center one is called middle lamella, and inner to that is the secondary cell wall. I hope you follow this. As cell wall, it is as given. Cell wall, இது வந்து plant cell, this is animal cell. So இதில் வந்து cell wall thick இருக்கும். Innermost is the secondary cell wall, thick in nature, and then middle lamella, then outer primary cell wall. I hope you understand. So now this cell wall, again when the cell stops growing, the primary cell wall becomes thicker and develops a new layer between the primary and the secondary, and this is called primary and the plasma membrane. This is called secondary cell wall, and it has more lignin than the primary cell wall. Okay? The cell wall plays important role in the transfer of material between the cells. Okay. The next one, it is this is for the cell wall. Then the cytoplasm, it is as living and non-living cell wall. So non-living inclusions are reserve food material and storage materials, right? The reserve food material, oil, fat droplets, thus glycogen, starch, these reserve food material or storage material, they are included under non-living inclusions. Whereas living inclusions, they are normally called organelles. They are normally called organelles. Organelles, spelling correct? Organelles spelling? Organelles spelling correct? Organelles. Now we say this is cell wall, inner to that is the cytoplasm, and then is the nucleus. This is nucleus. Okay, so this is nucleus. The remaining space, it is cytoplasm. So now within this, when the living inclusions, what is called organelles are present. For example, this is mitochondria. Okay, now this mitochondria, it is enclosed by a membrane. So within the cytoplasm, when any structure is enclosed by a membrane, it is called organelle. Okay, so the membrane bound structures found within the cytoplasm, it is called organelle. So here the mitochondria, living inclusion, organelles are mitochondria, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum, and then ribosoplastics, and lysosome. These are all membrane bound organelles found within the cytoplasm. I hope you understand. And then one more, vacuole. It is present in the plant cell, absent in animal cell. This is vacuole, present in plant cell, absent in animal cell. So now we'll just see the difference between plant cell and animal cell. Okay, difference between plant cell and animal cell as plant cell has rigid cell wall, animal cell lacks. Then it is plant cell larger in size, animal cell comparatively smaller. Then plant cell has large vacuole, whereas animal cell absent. If present, they are in small size. And another section called centrosome, absent in plant cell, present in animal cell. Again, lysosome, they are present in eukaryotic cell, absent in prokaryotic plant cell. It is present in animal cell. Then plastids are present in plant cell, absent in animal cell. And then in plant cell, starch is the storage material, whereas glycogen is the storage material in animal cell. So this is the difference between plant cell and animal cell. We'll just continue. Just go through this. We'll just continue. We'll continue this nucleus and cytoplasm. We are talking about living inclusions as cell organelles. Yeah. Same way, nucleus is also nucleus is also a cell organelle. Now this cell organelle nucleus, it is having an outer nuclear membrane. They are covered by two nuclear envelope, outer and inner. An outer nuclear membrane, it is having nuclear pore. This nuclear pore is in continuation with the endoplasmic reticulum. This is the nuclear pore. This is in continuation with the endoplasmic reticulum. And then this is nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane. This is nucleoplasm. The cytoplasm here, it is called nucleoplasm. And then a spherical structure called nucleolus. A spherical structure called nucleolus. Right? And inner to that is a network of chromatin reticulum. Network of chromatin reticulum. Otherwise, which in turn forming the chromosome. Okay. So now we say this nucleus, 1 minute. We say nucleus, it is formed of nuclear membrane, inner to the nucleoplasm, which encloses nucleolus and chromosome or chromatin network. Okay. So the nucleus, it has chromosomes, which in turn formed of DNA, which in turn formed of genes. Now genes are the carriers of hereditary characters. Right? Now this chromosome is having a structure like this. What does it mean? Having a centromere, and then two arms called pellicle. Two arms called pellicle. Okay. And then inner to that, here in the cytoplasm, it is called matrix. Right? This matrix in turn is forming a thread-like structure called chromatic matter. Many matter. This in turn formed of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA, which in turn formed of genes. There are around 30,000 to 40,000 different types of genes are present in the human body. Right? Now we say this chromosome in human being, there are 23 pairs of chromosome. So these 23 pairs are having around 30 to 40,000 number of genes. And every gene is responsible for determining a character. And the characters can be, a single gene may be responsible for producing different characters. For example, or many genes are responsible for producing a particular character. For example, skin color having the pigment called melanin. Skin color having the pigment called melanin, it determines the color of the skin. And there are 4 or 5 genes present in these 23 pairs of chromosome is deciding the skin color. Same way, hair color is also decided by different genes present in the chromosome. Different genes now, say for example, 23 pairs and maybe 11th chromosome la 2 genes, and then 22nd or 18th ஏதாவது ஒரு chromosome உள்ள genes. There are 4 genes responsible for determining the skin color. And the மாதிரி there are structure. So for nucleus, it is again prokaryotic and eukaryotic nucleus. அடுத்த வீடியோல I'll say about prokaryotic and eukaryotic nucleus. So here nucleus is an important component of the living cells. Nucleus is an important component of the living cell. It is generally spherical and located in the center of the cell, and it can be stained and seen easily with the help of a microscope. And nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by a membrane called nuclear membrane. This is nuclear membrane, and this is also porous and allows movement of materials between cytoplasm and the nucleus. And cytoplasm it is having a structure called endoplasmic reticulum. That's the next video. Okay. Now with the microscope or higher magnification, we can see a small spherical body called nucleolus. In addition, it contains thread-like structures, chromosome, which carry genes. Gene help in inheritance and transfer of characters from parents to the offspring, or from one generation to the other. And the chromosomes can be seen only when the cell divides. Gene is a unit, it go through in the clear, it go through Gene is a unit of inheritance in living organism. It controls the transfer of hereditary characteristics from parents to the offspring. It is example, if father having brown eye, you may also having the brown eyes. Same way, if your mother has curly hair, you may also having curly hair. But still, different combination of genes from parents result in different characteristics. And then, as I said, chromosome Romani matter, DNA, genes. DNA வந்து deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribo sugar, and then it has nitrogenous bases as purine and pyrimidine. Purines are adenine and thymine. Pyrimidines are cytosine and guanine. And they always adenine will go with purine as and pyrimidine as nitrogenous bases. Adenine, guanine, thymine and cytosine, they are the nitrogenous bases. And adenine will pair with thymine and guanine will pair with cytosine. சரியா? So that is structure of nucleus. கொஞ்சம் டீடைல்டா பார்க்கலாம். Just ஒரு நிமிஷம். This DNA, it is a double helix. உங்களுக்கு DNA இந்த structure பாருங்க. Double helix இந்த மாதிரி போகும். Spirally arranged, right? Each DNA strand is made up of millions of nucleotides. We will come across the term nucleotide. Each nucleotide is made up of a pentose sugar, a phosphate group and nitrogenous base. Nitrogenous bases are purine and pyrimidine, where adenine and guanine are purine, thymine and cytosine are pyrimidine. I repeat, adenine and guanine are purine, thymine and cytosine are pyrimidine. So, and they always occur in pair, as adenine will go with thymine and guanine will go with cytosine. Right? This structure of DNA, it is proposed by Watson and Crick. And DNA is a double helix or double stranded structure coiled around each other. And the backbone of the spiral DNA, it is formed of sugar and phosphate molecule. Sugar na deoxyribo sugar, right? The nitrogenous bases are attached to the sugar molecule. And these two polynucleotides, the two strands are known. So these two polynucleotides are held together by hydrogen bonds between specific pairs of purine and pyrimidine. And the phosphate and sugar molecules are same throughout DNA, but nitrogenous bases change between any two of the purine and pyrimidine. I hope you understand. So this is the structure of nucleus, right? And this nucleus, again we come across prokaryotic nucleus and eukaryotic nucleus, where prokaryotic nucleus will have only genetic material, and nucleolus and nuclear membrane are absent. Example, single cell unicellular organism, amoeba, paramecium, and then in plants it is bacteria, right? Whereas eukaryotic nucleus will have a well-defined cell nuclear membrane enclosing nucleolus and nuclear plasm. I hope you understand. So this is the structure of the nucleus, right? So this cytoplasmic inclusions will continue in the next class. Till this, we go through the lesson again. Plus in QB, I have given additional questions that also to be learned. We'll continue in the next session. Thank you. Go through the lesson. Have a nice day.